For whatever reason, from the Shalom, Sister Joan Gilchrist, can you hear anything? Yeah. On the link?
Okay, there we are. All right,
Yeah.
I think we're on now. Shalom, 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 everybody. Uh, we had a few technical difficulties. Okay, there we are. All right. We had a few technical difficulties, but we are now in the building. We are now in the buildings. We want to welcome everyone to another Milk Mondays. Since we got started late, because
Nah,
of tech,
you got to echo, bro. You're gonna have to turn whatever you got going in the background off.
I ain't got nothing going in the background.
Okay.
Am I still echoing? Con. All right, so we want to welcome everyone to another Milk Mondays. I am Officer Knock, of course, joined with Captain All All, and he'll be back. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait for people to get here in the room. I'm gonna go over some announcements, and as everybody walk in, come in the room, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. All right. But let's see. Matter of fact, Shalom to Sister Joan Gilchrist. Shalom to Ephraim Banyasharala. Shalom to Sister Josephina. Shalom to Sister Jayla Turner. Shalom to the mighty Captain Aharon. All right. So, hey, these technical difficulties happen all the time. So, Salakia for that. But we're going to go ahead and get started. Tonight's class is titled, They Know the Truth, but They Don't Want You to Be Free. Shalom to you, AHOS soldier, Yaiquab. They know the truth, but don't want you to be free. This is going to be an interesting class. And as you know, here with AHOS, we are an Israelite Bible school. So we want everyone to make sure, grab your Bible, right? Grab your Bible, grab your pens, your notepad, your markers for highlighting, right? So you can go over this class later, write down the precepts, be able to study with your family. All right. Also, any brothers who are wanting to put their brick and do the work with AHOS, you can do so by sending us your request to be a part of the prospect phase at AHOS, at anointedahos@gmail.com. That's anointedahos@gmail.com. Also, we have some dates and some events and feast days coming up. So let me go ahead and pull that up for you real quick. Pull up the calendar here real quick before Captain gets on. And what we have coming up, we have new moon coming up. We have our new moon December 1st, I believe, which will be the 9th month. We will be teaching on that day. So I hope everyone can be a part of that December 1st new moon class. Also coming up down the road, we also have the Feast of Dedication, which will be taking place in North Carolina. We will be having our Feast of Dedication at the school in Greensboro, North Carolina. That will be starting December 26th. That starts December 26th through the weekend. I know that's usually an 8-day type of feast, but we will be gathering for that December 26th through the weekend in Greensboro, North Carolina. If you're able to attend, please do so. Those who want to attend, please send us an email, anointedhos@gmail.com. In the subject line, put Feast of Dedication to let us know that you want to attend that feast day. All right. All praises for that. All right. Let's see. What else we got? I don't think we have anything else going on.
Just hold on a second, because I need one more second.
Con. So I hope everyone's had a beautiful week. Had a wonderful Shabbat on the last Shabbat. And I'm hoping that everyone is kind of energized for the rest of this week. I'm kind of energized for Feast of Dedication, and I'm waiting for that to come up. But I pray that, Lord willing, I'll be able to make it down to North Carolina. But if not, I still will be celebrating Feast of Dedication here where I'm at. So I hope everyone can have a chance to be able to get involved, right? Because these are the things that we're supposed to be doing, not Christmas, right? Christmas is out the box. Christmas is out of place. We don't do that kind of thing here with Anointed House of Saints. We follow what the Bible says. And that's why we will be following and keeping those commandments and those feast days. Let me give a shout out to World Without End, Shalom. Shalom to the brother Officer Boaz. Shalom to Sister L. Shalom to you, sis. Also, shalom to Rose, the young lioness. Shalom to you, sis. Shalom, welcome, welcome. Like, share, subscribe. We're going to be getting started here in a little bit. Let's see, what else do we have? Matter of fact, let me do this while we waiting on Cap. We can go ahead and throw this in here real quick right now.
Shalom, this is Officer Benyamian of AHOS, here to bring you another verse of the day. And the verse comes from the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 25 and 26. And it reads, "Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. Is not life more than meat, and the body than raiment? Behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they?" This is what we have to remember. We are better than the animals and the beasts that have been made. But the animals here, they do not want. They have everything that they need. Remember these things. Shalom.
AHOS.
Shalom, Yasha Allah. This is your Akasani with the Anointed House of Saints, coming to you with the verse of the day. And it reads, this is 1 Samuel 15 and 22. And Samuel said, "Has Yahweh as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of Yahweh? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams." The Most High always wanted you to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. He never wanted those sin sacrifices. He always wanted you to be obedient. Right? That's how you cleave to the Most High God. Kal halal Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. This is the Anointed House of Saints. Shalom.
AHOS.
How you doing, Cap? Shalom to you. Shalom.
Man,
Yeah.
well, we're starting at 9:43. So
Right.
the point of the class today was to that's where I move. The point of the class today was basically to give you guys a history lesson. So I had some videos we were gonna watch. It's not a lot of precepts we were gonna go over today. In the videos, I had chunks of the video I wanted to watch, right? Just to get the point across. And now, you know, you already don't like history. So it don't be nobody engaged on the history classes. You know what I mean? And Satan done made it so that we done messed up in the class, done messed up and everything like that. So we ain't starting till 9:45. It's just gonna be crazy because look, now it's only 12 of y'all on here. And I don't like that type of crap. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I got to push through it. So you 12 people gonna you know, y'all will be getting a little treat. You'll get to find out some things that I guess nobody else gonna get to see. So all right, basically what the topic of the class is today. Y'all know Donald Trump is gonna be president soon, right? And for those of y'all that don't know, he's sponsored by AIPAC, which is basically it's all the damn Zionists in America, right? The Zionists, for those of y'all that don't know, they're the people that are the Jewish people, right? That have moved to our homeland, Israel, and they're mainly the ones that are, you know, heading the crafty council that we talk about all the time. Hold on just a second. All right, so them being the people that head this crafty council and stuff like that, you know, they've put a lot of things in place, and basically there's so much information out there telling who the real Israelites are and who the real Jews are that a lot of the times they don't try to hide it anymore. There's a lot of so-called Jewish people that aren't trying to hide it, right? They're not worried about hiding it. So that's just what it is, right? And I guess we're gonna go through it today and show you guys a little bit of the proof, right, that they use, and some of the things that I've taught you guys in classes before, where I've basically, me and Nak have proved that they've taken people from different parts of Africa that they know are Israelites, and they've let them come into the congregation, so to speak, or the synagogue, right, as people of the Northern Kingdom, and they've made them denounce their Southern Kingdom roots, and they've told them not to be Israelites anymore, but to be Jews and all this other crap, right? If you guys recall, there was even a class that's still on the SOT channel, Milk Monday playlist, called They'd Rather You Be Jewish Than Israelites, right? And well, we're gonna see a clip in the class today where you're actually gonna see a Jewish man in Nigeria with the Igbo people telling them that he knows that they're Israelites, but would you guys want to still be Israelites, or would you rather be Jewish, right? Giving them the option to partake in their covenant or keep the covenant that the Most High made with us, right? So things like that, we're basically gonna show a little bit, connect some dots with the Balfour Declaration that we've gone over before, and this is probably going to be the last Jewish class that we'll be able to make on the channel, before Trump is in office and they make it so that we can't say anything about them anymore. So, if you don't know, there's a lot of laws that are in place already that didn't get passed while Biden was in office that will most likely get put back on the table in Congress, be in the Senate, because, the Republicans own everything now, and AIPAC is run by the Republicans. So basically, the Jewish people are the ones running America again, right? So, yeah, let's get to it. We're going to see that there's a sect. You're basically going to see the cabal, right? The powers that be, the two sides of it. It's Esau, or let's say the Dukes of Edom, and then Amalek, right? So it's like Amalek, the chief duke, and then you got all the rest of them over here, right? And that's basically what's going on. And the rest of them are getting fed up with Amalek and the fact that they keep having to do his bidding, right? And that's what we're going to see on this Piers Morgan interview with a Dan Bilzerian. But first, let's get one scripture first. Hold on a second. Give me let me see what this is. Well, let's start this first. We all know about them being the border of wickedness, right? And how the nations hate them, right? Are going to hate them, rather, as we're going to read in a couple of precepts. But Jewish people, being, the devil, and they know the Bible too, a lot of them already know the situation that they're in, right? And I want to show you guys that Zionists knew their standing before Zionism got to the point it's at now, right? And they've done certain things in history since, 1920 something, going into the 1940s and World War II. And then after that, since 48, being in Israel, they've done specific certain things to basically protect themselves and put themselves in the position that they're in now, to where they could basically make whatever rules they want to make, right? To further themselves, right? At whatever cost they need to make it at. So this is basically going to prove to you, this video and the other videos that we're going to prove are going to show you the way that they basically did this. And in fact, they know who we are, and they know the truth, and they know that we know the truth. But with us knowing the truth, they're going to now do things to try a little bit harder to keep the power that they have, right? So watch this.
What do you want read, Cap?
We're gonna wait because I need to look at something right quick. So that was a Jewish man, for those of y'all that don't know, right? He's reading a quote from a Zionist, another Jewish man. that's
Salaki,
talking to you about. Yeah.
did you just play the video?
Oh, y'all couldn't hear that, huh?
Yeah, we didn't see
My
anything.
bad. My bad. See, I'm so pissed off right now. I forgot to hit share screen. Is that with this one? Yeah. All right. I was gonna play more of this interview, but now I'm not because of the time. So
Which anti-Semite do you think said the following? We spoke before about anti-Semites. Which anti-Semite do you think said the following? The Jewish people are a very nasty people. Its neighbors hate it, and they're right. Its end will be a Bartholomew night. They'll all be mad.
its end will be a Bartholomew night, right? That's like a Jewish saying. It'll be a union. It'll be with all the nations uniting against them, right? As the scriptures say, she's the border of wickedness, and the other nations will come to abhor her, right? So that's basically what we're gonna see. And they know this. They know that that's their end. So a lot of the things that they're doing not only is leading to that, but it's also in their mind, they're doing things that are going to stop that from happening, right? We know from what we see being the real Israelites and, the ones who the oracles of God are really revealed to, the things that they think they're preventing, they're actually moving closer to, that time and pushing things in our favor. That's the Most High doing that. But in their eyes, the things that they do are protecting them and it's prolonging their power on the earth, right? But before they were put in the position that they're in right now, they had Zionists who knew the end that was going to come to them if they pushed the agenda that they're pushing now, right? And they knew why the nations would hate them. So they actually got quotes from the early 1900s where they talked about that type of stuff. And that's what this guy's going over here.
Anti-Semites. Which anti-Semite do you think said the following? The Jewish people are a very nasty people. Its neighbors hate it, and they're right. Its end will be a Bartholomew night. They'll all be massacred. Now,
said they will be massacred, right? Which we're gonna read about. Obadiah talks about it, Isaiah talks about it, Ezekiel talks about it, right? Now I want go ahead and give me Exodus chapter 17, verses 14 to 16. Just to show you, even in the book of Exodus, the Most High proved that we would be at war with Amalek for a very long time. Right? And not only would the war would basically start with us and Amalek, but it's going to end with us, Amalek, and the nations against Amalek as well, right? And then after Amalek is basically taken out the way, it's going to be us versus the other nations. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it's going to go. But right now they're the chief, so we have to get them out the way. And there's a parable that even explains how, in Numbers, they were basically the chief nation. They were the leaders, right? And now they're like not going to be the leaders anymore. They're not going to be this chief nation, and they're going to be destroyed, put down to a lower state, right? And taken out forever. That's basically that's the fate of Esau, right? But they consider it Amalek in the Bible because just like how you look at Judah as the chief house of the southern kingdom and Ephraim as the chief house of the northern kingdom, and sometimes you could say Ephraim and mean all the 10 tribes, and you could say Judah and mean the whole southern kingdom, right? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. You could say Judah and Jeshurun or something like that, or you could say Jacob for the whole 12 tribes or something like that, right? Or Israel for the whole 12 tribes. It's the same thing with Amalek. Amalek being the chief house, right? The chief duke of Satan, so to speak. You could liken the whole house of Edom to Amalek. So that's what we're going to see a couple times in the scripture as well, just to prove that they are the people that, we say they are. They're the leaders of the Edomites. So go ahead, read that. Exodus chapter 17, 14 and 16.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 17 and verse 14. And Yahweh said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nissi. For he said, because Yahweh hath sworn that Yahweh will have war with Amalek from generation to generation.
You see that? He said eventually he's going to take Amalek up off the earth forever. And because he's sworn that, we're going to have war with Amalek from generation to generation. And what you're seeing now is the commencing of that war, right? We went through a period where, if you like go through the history of the 13th tribe, right? Just to bring the history lesson into play now. So when you read that book by Arthur Kessler and you know anything about the history that we've taught you guys, especially about Dan and the Greeks and Judah being over in Greece and everything like that, you know, once we take over that land, Japhet and everything, Esau obviously comes into play. Let me take myself off the screen. Just get him on there. So Esau obviously comes into play when that happens. After the fact, you know, the Romans, well, the Edomites, right? We'll say the Edomites end up taking over under Philip, right? Philip dies, then the Edomites take over again under Alexander, right? They take the name that we're using at the time, which is Greek. Then they change that name to Roman because it's not a name that they created themselves. So Roman comes into play, and then they rule us as the Romans, right? Now we take over, we turn it back into Greek civilization. So now it's Greco-Roman, and we're basically ruling them, going back and forth, right? And we're even sharing rulership over them with Ishmael, as we taught you guys, right? Which is why Ishmael has now come into play as a hated nation as well, according to them, right? Because they know the history. There's even videos. This YouTube channel that we're watching is called We Woke Now, right? It's a brother. He's an Israelite. He came into the truth a little while ago, a couple years ago. But before that, he was just making pretty good videos, like Afrocentric videos, right? Trying to speak some type of truth. Shalom to everybody coming in the building. But now he's obviously coming from an Israelite standpoint, right? And he's proven, he takes clips like how Thoughts Camera Action used to take before he became a bug out, because his mama white and he didn't want to admit that the Edomites was really Esau. You know, the white people is Edomites and not Japhet. So he didn't actually get as far as he was supposed to get. But the Most High took him out the way and put somebody in the United States that actually understands what's going on according to the Bible and gave him the same talent, right? So that's who We Woke Now is. And that brother has been doing pretty good, especially with these videos on the Jews. He takes a lot of information and is able to prove things that people like Piers Morgan, who's a paid activist for them, if you will, right? He gets people that are known, quote unquote, anti-Semites, gets them to come on the show and tries to make them look like anti-Semites to disprove their claims against the so-called Jews, right? The Jewish people. So that was his plan with Dan Bilzerian, and it worked on his page, right? But what the brother We Woke Now did is actually showed you the clips of everything that Dan said that was true to prove that Pierce didn't actually tell the truth in this interview, even though it looks good on his page, right? And I want to show this clip because a lot of the things that Dan says are things that we proved through the Balfour Declaration that I showed you guys how to find on that timeline, right? So let's get to it. And this also proves, like the title says of our class, they know the truth, but they don't want you to be free, right? Because Dan Bilzerian knows that you're like an Israelite. We're going to see other white people in this video that know you're an Israelite. There's going to be a white man who is part of a Bible organization, seferpublishing.org, right? They make the Israeli Sefer Bible in Israeli Hebrew, right? He's going to get on this class and actually tell everybody that eugenics was started by Margaret Sanger to wipe out the tribe of Judah from the African-American community. Verbatim. He's going to say that, right?
What?
Yeah, I'm going to show you. So he going to say that, which proves they know who we are, right? But even though they know who we are and they have a disdain for the people that are taking our identity because they're saying something about it, they still don't want us to be the people who are supposed to have our identity because they're not doing anything about the people who they don't like, right? Even though they're going as far as to say those people aren't the real Jews, they're not going as far as to tell you who the real Jews are. You feel what I'm saying? Some people are in the videos, but after they tell you that the African Americans are the Israelites, they're not then going on campaigns to make sure that the fake Jews get out of our land so that we have a place to go, right? It's none of that type of stuff happening, which proves that they don't actually want you to be free. So let's get into it and see what they say.
Politicians act.
And y'all hit the like button when y'all come in the building, Bobby Kashal for us. So we could get some views on this video so folks could see exactly what we were talking about, you know, because it's going to link you to a couple of classes that we did. So it'll make a lot of things make sense if they didn't before.
On behalf of Israel instead of on behalf of what is best for the United States. And that is, you know, as a veteran where I really have fucking, you know, huge problems with this.
I'm sure I did, but when you say that what was it you said, that the Jewish people?
Salakia for the profanity. Dan's probably going to cuss a little bit because, you know, he's one of them white cowboy, soldier, marine type dudes. So he just, yeah.
Said there were weapons of mass destruction. I mean, it was President Bush. He's not Jewish. It was Colin Powell. He wasn't Jewish, as far as I'm aware. What are you talking about? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you're talking
Now,
about.
something I want you to realize about Pierce, right? I'm not going to stop it too much so that y'all get the gist of what's going on, but I am going to commentate. Pierce is going to be echoing and relaying a lot of the things that we hear from the propaganda that's been put out on a lot of these situations that Dan is going to speak on, right? And what's going to happen is the truth is going to come out after Dan speaks on it. And then we're going to get to talk and prove to you guys some other things that this guy's not going to put in the video. Maybe because he's a little bit newer and doesn't have the full story. But he's going to be able to show you some things that I wasn't able to show you back when we made the videos before because the information wasn't pulling up for me. So he was able to find it. So we're going to, you know, compare notes. And iron sharp as iron. So, you know, when a good man has a good word out there, somebody wise is going to add on to it, commend it and add on to it, right? So we basically going to do that right here.
0.2% of the population. So obviously every single person in there is not Jewish, but it is benefiting Jewish interests, and we are operating on behalf of Israel. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying all of our politicians are Jewish, obviously, but what I am saying is that Israel has dirt and blackmail on our politicians. That's the only way to explain why they put the interests of Israel above our countries. And you see that. I mean, look, I truly believe that Epstein Island was a Mossad operation, and they have dirt on our politicians, and they've done plenty of these, and that is why they control our country. I mean, explain it out. Why else would our country be doing everything in Israel's benefit to our own detriment? Israel doesn't do anything for us. Why would we be doing that?
But we know why America and the UK, for that matter, Tony Blair, because I spoke to him about it at length at the time. We know why they went to war with Saddam Hussein in 2003. They went because they believed he had weapons of mass destruction. They were the ones who argued it. None of the senior people that argued it for America or the UK, in terms of Tony Blair, George Bush, Colin Powell, were Jewish. This idea that somehow Israel was orchestrating that war, I think is completely nonsensical. I mean, my brother fought in that war for the British Army. He wasn't ordered into that war by Israel. It was a decision taken by George Bush and Tony Blair. It just seems to me that when people have accused you, if they have, of being anti-Semitic, this is the reason why. It's because you look everywhere for a reason to blame Israel for absolutely everything, even when there's no evidence that it was Israel involved in the actual orders that were taken. There is no evidence that Israel ordered the Iraq war. It was taken by George Bush's administration with the help of people like Tony Blair.
Well,
That's because Tony Blair is who the UK always blames for it. And when you hear somebody on the news, CNN, MSNBC, Fox mention the Iraq war in America, you always hear Bush or, you know, Cheney or Colin Powell, something like that, right? Which is why he's able to recant those words and those names, because that's what people hear. That's what you think is true, right? But the truth is what we're about to see right now.
went there because Netanyahu testified in front of Congress that they had weapons of mass destruction. Netanyahu testified in front of Congress that they had weapons of mass destruction. That they had weapons of mass destruction.
That they had weapons of mass destruction.
There aren't legitimate questions about a potential operation against Iraq.
This was the day before my birthday, 2002. Right? 9/11 happened. What year was 9/11?
2001.
So this is the year after 9/11. All right. So year and the day after, right? Now he's here. Some of us know why exactly this is happening, right? There's some things going on in Iraq right now that are a result of this, which was the plan all along. But this, right, was something that they did firstly to get Saddam out the way so that they could get control of his country. Secondly, with him out the way, America could then pay different proxy leaders and prime ministers that Iraq will be able to have, which would also lower the threat of Iraq to the nation state of Israel. If Iraq isn't much of a threat to the nation state of Israel, that means Iran wouldn't be much of a threat to the nation state of Israel, because Iran gets a lot of its power from Iraq. Iraq being a bigger country, they've got a bigger army, they've got more oil, they've got more money, and they've got the Kurds. So that's how that works, right? Iraq and Iran work together. That's how that works over there. That's Babylon, right? Netanyahu knows that. He obviously knows the geopolitics over there because he's right next door. And he's helped start the war to help his country, being a Zionist, help their political standing and allow them to be able to do the things they've been able to do for the last 20 years, right? So, and he's still in power because of the things he's been able to do since this exact moment.
Indeed, there are. But the question of whether removing Saddam's regime is itself legitimate is not one of them. And equally immaterial in my mind is the argument that America cannot oust Saddam without prior approval of the international community.
So they can't out Saddam without prior approval of the international community. So what did he do to give the international community prior approval? He lied and said that they had nuclear weapons that they were going to use against Israel. Israel being the nation that NATO was set up to protect. If they're going to have a nation that's going to come against them and destroy them, that's right next door, all the NATO nations have to come against them and fight for them. That was the plan, and that's what happened, right? Once they found out it was a lie, which they knew it was a lie, because there was another thing that I'm not going to tell you about. That was the second reason why they went in there to go take the stuff from Iraq, right? It was a two-way street. First reason was to help Netanyahu. Second reason was to help Halliburton. If you watched the video we did a couple weeks ago, you understand why that just connected in the ding, 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 right? Okay.
Because this is a ruler who is rapidly expanding his arsenal of biological and chemical weapons. This is a dictator who has used these weapons of mass destruction against his subjects and his neighbors. And this is a tyrant who is feverishly trying to acquire nuclear weapons. The dangers posed by a nuclear-armed Saddam were understood by my country 2 decades ago, well before September 11th. In 1981, the late Prime Minister of Israel, Menachem Begin, dispatched the Israeli Air Force on a pre-dawn raid that destroyed the Iraqi nuclear reactor at Osirak. This probably took place months away from Saddam's ability to assemble the critical mass of plutonium for the first atomic bomb, or more than one. Now, at the time, Israel was condemned by all.
Notice he said probably. Typically, when a white man says probably, it's probably not even a case of the situation probably ain't even a situation like that, right?
Liar!
Exactly. So, there's a story, a little joke they have about Netanyahu, because his name is like Nathaniel. That's what Netan means. It means give us. They say his name is like give us lies. It's a nickname joke that they use over there. So he's known for lying, right? Word on the street is he's wanted, international court for the crimes he's committed since this very interview right here, right? So yeah. He's supposed to not be able to come to Canada or he's going to get arrested. I think Belgium just said something. Germany just said something. So like every day there's a new nation that pops up that says if he shows up here at our airport, he's going to get arrested. So it's like that's what's going on, because people are trying to, kind of put a tight lip on the attack, because you got all these people that have found out about what's been happening now, right? You got Kanye that said something about it. You got, what's her name? Candace Owens that said something about it. And all these other people that we're going to see as we go through this class that have said something about it, right? So now America has to, kind of tight lip it a little bit, because it's getting a little out of hand. Too much knowledge is becoming known to the public. So they might end up telling you Netanyahu got arrested, and they might let him live the rest of his life on a nice private island somewhere where you never see him again. We'll see.
All the world's government, even the government of our closest friend, the United States. But I think that over time, history has rendered a far kinder judgment on that act of unquestionable foresight and unmistakable courage.
Unquestionable foresight and unmistakable courage. Huh? And then, you know, he's got a little bit more. He did some more stuff. We'll fast forward, right?
Assuming he gets out of Kuwait.
And which was a total lie, and it was a lie to benefit Israel because that was an enemy of Israel. So what I'm saying is they're the beneficiary of what we are doing, and it's not in the best interest of the United States. So clearly they've got control over our politicians.
Yeah, but to be clear again, though,
I'm not saying our politicians are Jewish. I'm saying our politicians are doing what they're telling them to do.
Right. Well, that's slightly different.
You see, and Piers was gonna try to jump on the well. That certainly doesn't mean that our politicians are Jewish, because even though that's not what he said, that's what Piers wants to lean on, because Piers just wants to find something he can make it seem like this dude is wrong about, right? Dan is not supposed to be a smart guy. He's a damn poker player that just walks around with a bunch of naked women all the time, right? He shot a couple people in the war, came back home with his army money, went to Vegas and learned how to play poker and became a millionaire, right? So he's supposed to be some, you know, douchebag with a beard and some muscles. So people like Pierce don't like Dan that much, right? And Dan don't like people like Pierce. Dan is like the trailer trash that, you know, got rich. He's a Donald Trump that went to the army, right? So it's like these are two different cloths of white guys right here. One likes Israel and, you know, does work for them, and the other one, he's a, you know, proud to be an American, right? So we're in a situation where we see the two sides of the nation that's divided, that is currently on its way not being able to stand, right? Crumbling right before our eyes. We see the two sides, right? One side knows the truth, doesn't really want to fight for it, because if they did, they'd be fighting for us. But they know the truth and want to expose it to an extent, just enough to help themselves and get America doing things for America again, right? Thing is, Dan doesn't know America never did things for America. Since the 1800s, they've been doing things for Israel.
Different to what you did.
It's in the Balfour Declaration.
Did say. And you said on Patrick Bet-David's podcast as well, they play the victim card so effing much about Jewish people. I mean, do you not understand why Jewish people might feel a sense of victimhood, given that 6 million of them were killed in World War II by a genocidal monster?
And this is always the plan, right? Somebody says something true about them and can prove that something happened that shouldn't have happened at the hands of the Jewish people, or that America was made to do something at the hands of the Jewish people. The person doing the interview typically goes into, you know, Holocaust response. Well, let's ask him a Holocaust question and see if he's going to tell the truth about that. Because, you know, if you tell the truth about the Holocaust, you know, they're going to put you on a hate watch list like they did me. And that's just where you're going to be at, right? They're going to put that on there. They're going to add that to the notes that I said Holocaust, right? That's what it was. I didn't say it, guys. Dan is about to say it. Watch.
In the Holocaust, do you not understand why that might make Jewish people feel that, yes, they have indeed been victims?
Yeah, I mean, that figure's been revised, but, you know, I believe that Jewish supremacy is the greatest threat to America. And I think it's the greatest threat to the world today. I truly believe that.
What do you mean the figure's been revised? What do you mean?
Well, they said that it was 4 million that died in Auschwitz, and then they said it was down to 1 million. So they've revised the figure.
4 million, and then 1 million, and now we're at 6 million.
Well, they said that it was 4 million that died in Auschwitz, and then they said it was down to 1 million. So they've revised the figure. It was 4 million that died in Auschwitz, and then they said it was down to 1 million. So they've revised the figure. And so they've revised the figure.
And so they've revised the figure.
Poland agrees to change Auschwitz tablets after 50 years of deflecting the request of Jewish groups, the Polish government has agreed to change the wording on stone tablets at Auschwitz and Birkenau, the adjacent Nazi camps where more than 1 million Jews died during World War II. The move follows decades of appeals by Jewish groups who say the current plaques do not fully reflect the suffering of Jews there and focus too heavily on the camp's non-Jewish victims. So they're saying that, according to them, at Auschwitz, that number is highlighting those that were non-Jewish. But notice what they say. While thousands of non-Jews were among the estimated 1.5 million killed at Auschwitz, the victims were predominantly Jewish. This is the original tablet. 4 million people suffered and died here at the hands of the Nazis. Murders between the years 1940 and 1945 said 4 million. But then when we go to the newest or the more up-to-date plaque, it says here, forever let this place be a cry of despair and a warning to humanity, where the Nazis murdered about 1.5 million men, women, and children. But notice the wording here. It says mainly Jews. So even with this 1.5 million, it's saying they were not all from the Jewish community. It goes from.
So at first, just in case y'all ain't catching what's going on, right? We have one authentic, real top of the line, right straight from the cusp of the situation, documentation, right? Put on stone, where they're only counting 1 million people, right? So they got forever let this place be a cry of despair and a warning to humanity, where the Nazis murdered about 1.5 million men, women, and children, mainly Jews. So we have first, they tell us 4 million people suffered and died here at the hands of Nazi murderers between the years 1940 and 1945, right? Personally, from what I've been able to find, this is the older one. I mean, this is the newer one. This is the older one, right? And the one that says 400 is, obviously a fabricated number. The one that says 1.5 million says mainly Jews, so it's also including the other people that were involved in the Holocaust. Or the other people that were involved in the Holocaust? Well, we tell you all the time, right? Before we continue this part, we tell you all the time that Black people were involved in the Holocaust, right? We tell you all the time. Can I pull this Hitler thing up? Let me see if I can find this joint right quick. We tell you guys all the time that hold on just a second. We tell you guys all the time that Hitler, he did his thing and told the truth about the Israelites, right? Let me see if I got it in. I'm trying to see what folder I have in it. But we basically have showed you guys the Balfour Declaration and the quote from Hitler talking about how the Negroes are the Israelites and all that different stuff, right? So, what we're going to show you, I guess I don't have it on here. Where is my damn... I didn't have a chance to pull this up before I got here. Yeah, I got to find it now. But I'll pull up the Balfour Declaration a little later. I'm gonna find it while we're going.
I got an article dealing with the Black people during the time of the war in Germany.
All right, well, let me read this one first, and then you can get into that while I look at this. So
well, that's the one I got. That's the other one that I got. Go ahead.
Okay, well, let me read this one, and then you can read the other one.
All right.
So, just to show you guys, right? The Black people in Germany went through the Holocaust. So, the Nazi persecution of Black people in Germany. We know the story about Hitler seeing Jesse Owens at the Olympics. Jesse Owens being a Black track star, right? And he's supposed to be this dude that just came out of slavery a couple generations ago. And, niggas in Germany, well, I ain't gonna say niggas. The white people in Germany looking at niggas still like this low-class people, right? They ain't been living with us in high number in the Rhineland. They kicked most of us out, right? The ones that are here, they are basically mixed looking, and it's not a whole lot of black looking ones, right? There ain't no Dennis Schroeders walking around Germany at this time like that. They killing you or something like that, right? Hanging you and stuff. So There's a couple of them that are mixed, that are just, you know, left in the land and stuff like that. And those are the ones that they made sterile and everything that we're gonna read about in a second. But as for like the folks in America, they never really got to live around us like that during this time. So when they see Jesse blow them white boys out the water, Hitler was surprised. He's like, damn, who the hell is this nigga? America let a black man on the Olympic team? What kind of shit is this? And then he blows him out the water. He's like, damn, what is this? So he tries to find out more about this black guy and all the black people in America, and finds out that they're descendants of the Jews, the real Jews, right? The Israelites. They are the Israelites, according to the records in Germany. You have to understand the Germans would have our records, because if you know anything about the videos we've been showing you guys, you know, Germany is not too far from France, and France is not too far from England, and all them places ain't too far from Russia, Poland, and Czechoslovakia, and Hungary, and even Greece ain't too far away. So they all could share the records of us being in the land where we told everybody we were the Israelites when we controlled those places, right? Germany being one of the places we control, right? So just like Putin has records of black people being the founders of Russia, still has the Russian icons book, could still get on TV and show you black Jesus and all their stuff, right? Is because they still keep those records. Hitler's people kept those records, proving who the black people are, being the Israelites, right? And that's how he started his campaign of the Holocaust, because he realized these white people are trying to pretend to be black people, and black people are supposed to be the scum of the earth, according to the people in the Rhineland, right? So that's how that works. So this is what was happening to the black people that were left in Germany during this time, that they don't tell you about, because they want you to, you know, only feel bad for black people when it comes to slavery in America. Even though we teach that we've been a part of every single captivity in the world, they don't want you to know that that was also involving the captivity of the people pretending to be us, right? This is supposed to be exclusively for them. Unfortunately, it's not, because the real Jews are included in this too. We're the reason it started. Of course, they're going to kill us with them, right? When the Nazis came to power in 1933, there were several thousand black people living in Germany. I'm sure there was more than that. Several thousand could mean several 100,000. It could mean tens of thousands. It could mean any type of thousands, right? So keep that in mind. The Nazi regime harassed and persecuted them because the Nazis viewed black people as racially inferior, right? It's white supremacy. One of the places it started, you know, Einstein and the dude, what's the dude that came up with the Negroid, Caucasoid, Mongoloid joint? Darwin, right? They Germans, all right? So while there was Margaret Sanger, eugenics, German. While there was no centralized systematic program targeting black people for murder, many black people were imprisoned, forcibly sterilized, and murdered by Nazis. So they made sure niggas just couldn't have babies, right? Put a lot of them in cages. Regardless of what you might have heard in school, gas chambers is a bad way to kill people. It doesn't really kill you. You know, they use gas to put you to sleep and make you laugh when you go to the damn doctor. You know what I mean? It's very rare people die from that. You got to have a high amount of it. And if it's 100,000, I mean, you know, 100 people in a gas chamber, all breathing in the same amount of gas, it's probably not a lot of gas that they're going to be able to put in there back at this time period that's going to kill everybody. Probably going to knock you out, but you're going to wake back up. You know what I mean? Which is what happened to a lot of these German people. That's why you hear stories of white people telling you, yeah, my grandfather was put in a gas chamber. You know, they don't tell you he died. He was put in a gas chamber. He survived. Because gas usually don't kill you. They just tell kids that junk in school because, you know, when you tell a kid somebody got put in a gas chamber, automatically gonna think they died. Right?
Salakia.
Go ahead.
Salakia. And also, I mean, we need to understand that even though they talk about the gas chambers, there really isn't any verifiable proof, like solid proof that the concentration camps actually used gas chambers. But that's another thing to add to that.
What other guy he talking about?
What was that?
Magan. What other guys he talking about? He said he heard the other guy was a super soldier, one of Hitler's program, but I don't know what other guy he's talking about.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah. So
Pull up. Does it have?
going into this,
Does it have the number of approximately the number of so-called I'll just say Israelites in Germany?
it's not gonna say. It just says a couple thousand.
Because I got
They don't
one.
want you to know.
Well, I got an article that shows it. Shows the
Okay,
number.
well, hold on. Let me finish this. So the Nazis harassed and discriminated against black people in Germany. The regime's racial laws limited their social and economic opportunities. So they copied Jim Crow, basically, right?
Right.
Crafty counsel, right? So you want to know how deep that goes? Is that deep? The Nazi regime forcibly sterilized an unknown number of black and multiracial people, including at least 385 multiracial Rhineland children, right? That's just in the Rhineland, and they say at least 385. I bet it was way more than that because they said thousands of black people before. Ain't no way thousands of niggas only had 385 kids. You know how niggas get down. So I think this is a very, just like they lie about the other number, they under exaggerated the amount of people that they did this to, right? This is just the children. So yeah. There was no coordinated arrest wave targeting all black people in Germany. Nonetheless, many black people ended up imprisoned in workhouses, prisons, hospitals, psychiatric facilities, and concentration camps, right? So they even put us in more situations than they put the crackers in. They wouldn't put in the Jewish people. You ain't read no Anne Frank memoir from the psychiatric hospital, correct? But apparently they was locking niggas up in there. Feel me? Them Nazis wasn't having to work when they was in the concentration camps. They was just being separated, put in concentration camps, right? But they got us on workhouses, prison, you know, working for free, like niggas on the railroad in Georgia. Feel me? So, yeah, they actually put niggas through slavery while they were putting the white people in the Holocaust, right, in a concentration camp, where they, you know, concentrate this amount of people, this certain specific breed of people, if you want to call it that, right? This pedigree of folks, these people that call themselves Jewish, we're going to all put them in one area separated from everybody else. They still got food to eat. They didn't have to work.
Right.
And some of them were put in gas chambers, right? What about the ones that weren't put in gas chambers? Well, they were writing books and diaries like Anne Frank. You know any slaves that was writing books, Knock?
Well,
I don't either. So it
no.
couldn't be that bad, right? If you're able to write a whole memoir that they pass around through school, couldn't be that bad, right?
I don't even believe in that Anne Frank book.
I'm just saying, if you look at the dire situation, right?
Right.
Slaves were in a dire situation, and none of them thought to write a book about it.
Right.
There were slaves that could write and read and had paper and shit. It's like you, right? But this white girl, she got enough time in this concentration camp where they killing you and trying to murder you, and you know, throwing you in gas chambers and putting you in ovens to make you black people. All that crap they tried to say they was doing, right? Locking them up. They describe it like it's the damn Saw house, like Jigsaw locking them up, making you cut your leg off like Dr. Phil. You in there with Shaq too, because there's black folks in there. He German, right? So it's like that's what's going on. That's how they make it seem, and that's not really the case. So, well, I mean, it was for us. We was going through the Saw house. They wasn't, right? They was being Jigsaw to us. They were sterilizing us, probably, you know, doing all type of weird stuff, Diddy party type crap to brothers and stuff that they was putting in the concentration camps, trying to do their little Darwin and Einstein experiments on people, you know, eugenics. Know what I mean?
Let's pull that up.
That's the type of stuff. You look, they got them in psychiatric facilities and hospitals. If you locking niggas up in hospitals and psychiatric facilities, what you think they doing? Experiments.
Exactly.
Duh. You ever heard about any of the white people in the Holocaust being experimented on? I've never heard it before in my life. Just saying. So that's just some of the things we went through during the Holocaust that we're not supposed to have anything to do with, right? There was no coordinated arrest wave. So this is telling you, according to them, right, their records, the Holocaust Encyclopedia, There wasn't even a message put out by Hitler. Go get the niggas. He didn't say that, apparently, according to what they wrote. But what did they do? They went and got the niggas. And it did worse to them than they did to the people that they were actually got the decree to go against. In the Holocaust, that's not supposed to be about us. It's supposed to be about them, right? They include us in the number of people, as we're going to see in the video when we start it back up. Go ahead, Knock.
Con, let me go ahead and bring. Hey, actually, this is going to go into what you just brought up. That's pretty nice. So let me pull this up real quick. Can you guys see that? Let me go ahead.
Yeah, it's up there because I see it on the thing.
All right, let me go. Here we go. So it says black people. This is actually going to go into a little bit of what you said also. It says many black people who lived in Germany under the Nazi regime were persecuted, alienated, and murdered during this period. The Nazis viewed them as a threat to the purity of the Germanic race. Nazi propaganda posters showing friendship across racial groups referred to a loss of racial pride. It says in 1920s, around 24,000 black people were living in Germany. African German mixed race children were economically and socially marginalized in German society and not allowed to attend university. Under the Nazis, black people no longer had jobs and were excluded from many aspects of life.
Hold on. So do you ever hear this with the white people?
Right.
And Frank, Daddy, and Mama was still able to work, nigga. Like what?
Right.
They just had to leave their house and go live in the little camp home that they had.
God.
But they still had jobs. The black people that they weren't told to go against, according to the records that we just saw on the Holocaust Encyclopedia of America, say that the black people wasn't even in the decree. There was no widespread message to go after black Germans or black people in Germany is what it said. So they had to be black Germans. If you a nigga that's in Germany for a field trip, nigga, they went and took your ass and put you in a hospital or a concentration camp or a psychiatric spot, right? Psychiatric facility. And they was doing Margaret Sanger things to you.
Oh, yeah. Right here.
Go ahead. Like this.
Yeah. Continuing. When the Nazis came to power, it's the second paragraph. When the Nazis came to power, one of the first directives was aimed at mixed race children, underlining Hitler's obsession with racial purity. By 1937, every identified mixed race child in the Rhineland had been forcibly sterilized.
Every single child. So they telling you on the encyclopedia it was 385 children, but nigga, it's 24,000 niggas.
Right.
At least. When have you ever seen a room of 5 people and they only got 2 kids?
Right.
And it's niggas too? What? Knock, how many kids you got?
5.
All right. You see what I'm saying? Knock, you got some German in you too, don't you? Your last name Masson.
No, that ain't German, bro.
I know it's French, but you probably a Danite, so you probably got some German in you. So
Guten Tag.
But look, like, bruh, now I got 5 kids. What's 24,000 times 5?
Damn.
Bro, like, bro, what's 24,000 times 2? Because you know when they counting the black people, they're not counting the children. They don't add children in the census usually. They count adults.
Yeah.
Children are estimated.
That's right.
This 24,000 grown-ass people that was able to put their piece of paper or sign it, whatever they got, whatever documentation system they had in Germany at the time. This 24,000 people they was able to take from that. The kids they ain't included. So these 24,000 people you have to add to that to get the children. They only gave you the small number of 385. What? This article says every single mixed kid. And in the picture they showed on the Holocaust joint with the children, they didn't have no real looking black kids on there. They was all looking mixed.
Right.
Every kid on that article was mixed. So what that tell you? all they did was sterilize the mixed kids, according to what they keep saying.
Right.
Most of the people was mixed. They're in a society where you can't have no privileges if you ain't with a white person.
Right.
What the hell? Come on. So, bruh, this is crazy that they don't teach us this in school. They make it seem like it's never been black people in Germany, first of all.
Right.
Kids this age, from the millennial age or Generation X, the only black person from Germany they know is Shaq and Dennis Schroeder. And they both play basketball.
Right.
That's it. Like, we don't usually do question and answer, King. Not on this class. Got to pull up on a Friday for that. Good to see you too, though. If you got a question, you can put it in the chat. We'll try to answer it if we got time. We just started late today, so we got a lot of video we got to go over. Go ahead, Nat. Go ahead and finish.
God, second paragraph says, by 1937, every identified mixed-race child in the Rhineland had been forcibly sterilized in order to prevent further race polluting, as Hitler termed it. Now, this is interesting right here. Hans Hauck, a black survivor of Nazi racial policies and a victim of the sterilization program, explained in the film Hitler's Forgotten Victims that when he was forced to undergo sterilization as a teenager, hey, this goes back to those, this is not calling him mixed.
Right.
You see that? He was given no anesthetic. Once he received a sterilization certificate, he was free to go as long as he agreed to have no
when
sex.
did that thing happen in Alabama with the Tuskegee people?
Yeah.
I mean, what year was that? You know?
Was that in the 1920s?
So that was before this.
It was around the same time frame, I believe. 20s, 30s, 40s, somewhere around there. Maybe look it up.
If this is before that, that means America stole their playbook.
Yeah. Yep. Moving down to this part, black prisoners of war. Prisoners of war, POWs, faced mistreatment at the hands of the Nazis, who did not uphold the regulations imposed by the Geneva Convention, the International Agreement on the Conduct of War and Treatment of Wounded and Captured Soldiers. Black soldiers of the American, French, and British armies were worked to death on construction projects or died as a result of mistreatment in concentration or prison of war.
Work to death? Work to death. That's not figurative speech, people. That's literally.
Right.
Or died of what? As a result of mistreatment in concentration camps or prison of war camps.
God. It says
so they had camps where you'd be a prisoner of war, you could die. They had concentration camps where somehow we died in the concentration camps, but not all the Jewish people died.
Right.
And we got just straight up working to death camps where they're working you like a workhorse until you drop dead. Probably don't feed you, just got your ass working. My bad. Go ahead.
No problem. Others were never even incarcerated, but were instead immediately killed by the SS or Gestapo. Black prisoners received harsher treatment and less food than white POWs. Now, you know that means that the so-called you wish man is a part of this other white POWs, right? Let me read that again. Black prisoners received harsher treatment and less food than white POWs. And whilst most white POWs were imprisoned, many of the black soldiers either worked until they died or were executed.
So look, that's crazy, right?
Wow.
The Holocaust is supposed to be about them, where they get treated bad. Nobody else is there but them people. But when they were taken as prisoner of war and we were put in the same concentration camp as them,
that's wild.
They got food, we didn't. They got to live and we didn't.
Hey, they got to get their hair cut, a shower, and
you know what's crazy?
And a star put on their chest.
Yeah, that's crazy. But you know what I just thought about? What if the numbers for the Jews that died ain't even 1.5 million?
It's not.
What if that includes us? And since we're Jews, they just labeling the Jews that died in concentration camps as them.
Salakia.
What if it's only us that? What if it's 1.5 niggas that died and it ain't even none of them?
Salakia, Captain. That right there is what I've always thought. That was just an idea that came in my head some years ago. So hey, never know.
Oh man, what if none of them died and it's only us that were dying?
Yep.
Because this article hasn't made it sound like any white people died yet.
Right. That's right. See,
And it ain't like we not in concentration camps, so they wouldn't be lying if they say Jews died in concentration camps.
right.
They tell you the way the white Jews died is by, gas chambers, but we know gas don't kill people like that.
Mm-mm.
The police use gas, nigga. The army use gas. The SWAT team, when they pull up on you, they throw that gas thing in the house. You know what I'm saying?
That would definitely be a part of that crafty council. That would definitely be a part of that.
They kill a bunch of us and then take the credit for it as
Yep.
if they died
Yep, exactly.
and get to suffer the consequences of the world feeling bad for them dying, but really we died.
Yep,
And they ain't have no consequences. They just get to reap the benefits.
that's right.
That's crazy, bro. All right. Is that it? Because I want to get back
Yeah,
to
that's it for that. Let me go ahead and take it down.
this is crazy, man. This is
from 4 million to 1 saying they were not all from the Jewish community. It goes from 4 million to 1.5 million. So if you take 2.5 million and subtract that from 6 million, that's going to put you down to 3.5 million. That's just at Auschwitz. So according to the anti-Semitic laws, what they're saying is if you say or give the proof that I just shared that there was 2.5 million numbers removed from that overall 6 million number, that can be considered an exaggeration.
One of the things that we try to tell people, and that is Black folks was in the Holocaust. Like when you were highlighting those two references, in the reference, it said non-Jewish. But family, what you have to know is that we were in that non-Jewish number. And
you see that? They even got pictures with us on them things. They got knives in our mouths and stuff, man. They ain't take no pictures with the Jews on, with no Jewish people with the little yarmulke like this.
Truth be told, family, that like they don't know exactly.
They got the Morris Fez on him because they know who he is.
Just like, as far as like the number of Ashkenazis, they don't know exactly how many so-called Black folk.
He said, total strangers ran their fingers through my hair. This is like slavery. Theodore Michael, a mixed race survival of Nazi persecution on the daily life of Nazis when the Nazis came to power. Total strangers ran their fingers through my hair, sniffed at me to see if I was authentic. Like they ain't never seen a nigga before.
Folks was caught up in the Holocaust either because one, they weren't really documenting us, because when it came to, they weren't really documenting us.
Because Nazis saw Black people as a threat to their ideal of a pure Aryan race. If you know anything about the history we taught you guys, the only reason they felt threatened by us, it had nothing to do with a pure Aryan race. It's because they knew that we used to run the land that they live in now. They remember what it was like under our rule, and they've been trying to do everything in their power not to fall under us again. That's all the white people, right? Germany is just one of the places that we talking about right now specifically, but they all been doing the same thing. Their whole goal is to make sure we don't get power again. That's it. It ain't got nothing to do with a pure Aryan race, because the whole time Esau's been on the planet, he ain't never cared about a pure race. He just wants to be in power of the people so that he doesn't fall into just the subjection of his brother. That's all. Esau want to be in the position that he thinks he should have been in as the older brother. That's what their spirit is always going to want. We are going to always be at war with Amalek until we take him off the face of the earth, as we read in Numbers, right? So that's the situation we in. That's the dynamic between the two brothers, Jacob and Esau, right? Amalek being Esau, you know what I'm saying, and Israel being Jacob. So that's the dynamic. That's how we're going to go back and forth till it's over with.
because when it came to, the persecution over in Germany, we had it the worst, family. There's articles out there, family, that talks about how POWs or camps where they kept the prisoners. Well, if a black pilot was shot down, family, normally he wouldn't make it to the
And his records only had 382 mixed race children.
camp because they would just take him out back and shoot him, because that was the fate of so-called African Americans or so-called black folks during that time, because Germans, family, they did not like black folks at the time. So that's why our numbers during the Holocaust are massively undercounted, one. And then two, they don't tell you that the Holocaust started first in Africa.
Well, how many people?
And I
How many
believe it was the
people
Red
do you think were
Cross that
killed
said it
in the
was
Holocaust?
271,000 that died in Auschwitz.
How many do you think were killed in the Holocaust?
What did you say?
In Auschwitz.
How many people do you think were killed in the Holocaust?
271,000 that died in Auschwitz.
Damn. He said the Red Cross said it was 271,000 that died in Auschwitz.
Actually, Salakia, I did research on that, and that is what I also found.
271,000.
It went from
that means everybody else was us.
Right. It went from 400 and something down to 270,000, something like that. From that, and that's the Red Cross, because Red Cross, when you think about it, anytime there's war going on, you have the Red Cross, right? So their job is to actually count the people, right? When they have patients that they have to take care of, when they have whatever they do during wartime, they actually take account of the people and the people that they actually service, right? So if anyone had died on those concentration camps, who were picking them up? Who were counting them? The Red Cross. So they have the more, I believe, more accurate numbers.
Yeah. Nah, Magan, that's not what I'm saying, bro. I said that you would need an extreme amount of gas in order to kill somebody. When you have a gas leak at your house, when you first smell the gas, you don't know how long the gas been on, but you don't die immediately and you don't pass out immediately, even if the gas been on for 2-3 hours, right? But if you in the house for a long ass time and the gas just there going off, right? And eventually you pass out because it's been going on for like a day or 2 days or something like that, and you just been sitting in the crib, or it's a large amount of gas been coming out, you got it on high and it's been just spewing for the last couple hours or something like that, then it's something that could hurt you. But when you get to smelling the gas, you don't die. So yeah, it's not an immediate thing like they try to make it seem like it was in the Holocaust. In gas chambers, the only way they ever mentioned any of the white people dying. So if gas was the way they were trying to take out the white people and they was using bullets for us, we see why it was so many of us that died rather than them, right? 271,000 subtracted from 1.5 million means we had way more than them die. You know what I'm saying? Like we had way more of us died than them. That's what that means. Right, a little over 800,000 more. So
and Salakia, but you'll have Jewish families still claim 6 million though. They will still, if you interview,
they are, because it's gonna make them look better and it's supposed to make people feel bad for them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's part of the anti-Semitism thing.
Right.
They have certain, things that they use to make people feel bad for them because of the anti-Semitism that's going on in the world. Because the only reason there's a such thing as anti-Semitism or the hatred for the Amalek and the fake Jews is because the rest of the world knows that they're not the real people.
Right.
We're gonna find it out in this video.
Right.
I'm just showing you this part with Piers Morgan so that y'all can see that there are white people in America just like Dan, right? If you live in the South, majority of the white people in America that are just like Dan. Every damn cracker I grew up around is like this white boy right here, right? And they all know who the hell I am. They all know we Israelites for real, but they ain't trying to do nothing about getting us back to Israel, even though they claim to hate the Israelis because of the things that America does for them and stuff like that, right? So, just to show you.
Auschwitz.
How many do you think were killed in the Holocaust?
I don't know, but I would bet my entire net worth that it was under 6 million.
Again, I simply ask you, Dan, what's the motivation for making claims like that? What do you stand to gain by trying to diminish what happened in World War II?
I'm just answering your question. I mean, I'm a gambler, so If I think that, something is a low probability, then I would bet on it. And I don't know for a fact, but the evidence all says that it was less than 6 million. I mean, just the mathematics don't work. Like, you can't cremate that many bodies. Like the whole gas chamber thing, it's a very ineffective way to kill people. So when people have researched this and they've done the due diligence, they said it's mathematically impossible.
You see, I'm sorry, but I just find that unbelievably offensive, and I'm not even Jewish.
You see, there's not even any logic to combat it. It's just now offense. That's how they get over 99% of the things that they say. They show this immediate outrage and offense to the things that you say that are factual. A person that actually has proof to prove the things that happen to them would have no problem saying, no, this is what happened. Let me show you. Right. But instead, them and the people that, always cape for them, like Pierce, they just, when something said that sounds, damn near too good to argue against, it just becomes let me show outrage. Oh, I'm appalled. Oh, my goodness. I'm not even Jewish. Oh, right. So, nah, bro, like, that's crazy. We almost done with this.
Again, there is clear evidence that 6 million people almost.
And we saw that that's a lie, right?
That's a lie.
Here's the lie.
Genocide. So, they deny the Armenian genocide.
You said what?
Salakia. Actually, there were more. It's also been reported by the Red Cross during World War II that there were more Russians that were killed in the war than the so-called Jews in the Holocaust. There's another, and that's a factual number. That's a number that was recorded by Red Cross also.
Israel denies that. They've lobbied the U.S. to deny that. I'm Armenian. They killed half of my people. So, and I'm not offended by that. If somebody questions that, it's not some crazy thing. I mean, Israel denies the Armenian Holocaust. Okay.
It sounds to me, Dan, like you do actually hate Jewish people.
No, I believe that Jewish supremacy is the greatest threat to the world today. I look at what they're doing in the media. They're pushing this transgender nonsense. I mean, and they did it in Germany. The first transgender clinic was opened by a Jewish guy. And I don't.
Did y'all know that?
Wow.
I can look that up on your own time, right? You ever seen the TV show American Horror Stories?
God.
You can actually look up a lot of the things that they get their stories from actually happened in Germany.
Wow.
I don't like this perversion pushed on our children. I don't like the fact that 9-year-olds are reading about homosexual acts. I don't like that drag queens are reading them in schools. I don't like that Kamala Harris wants to pay for sex changes in prison so that men can turn into women and women can turn into men. And I don't like the fact that he's putting in, men into women's prisons, male rape.
And if you know anything about the video, if you remember the video we did on Kamala Harris and them, right? We showed you how it's two sides of the same coin. Kamala's Jewish. Barack's family and the Bush family, they're related. They're not Jewish, but they're the white people that work with the Jewish people.
Right.
Right? So it's two sides of the same coin. Both the white folks working together, right? So they're like the ones that Pierce is on their side, and then you got the ones like Dan who are not on that whole conglomerate side, and they're the white folks that are trying to divide the nation, basically, right? That's why it's not going to be able to stand, because of the folks like Dan. So that's the divide right here, right? But what they'd like is for either side of the spectrum, whether it's the Republican or the Democrat, to be in power, because both of them work for the Jewish man, right? You got Donald Trump, who's got the AIPAC thing through the Rothschild, and then you've got the Democratic Party, who's got their, transgender, eugenic, policies through the Democratic Party and the Rockefellers, right? So that's how that works. It's two sides of the same coin, though. They're both both sides are funded by so-called Jewish people. So
rapists into women's prisons because they identify as women. I mean, it's just nonsense. I don't like, men beating up women in boxing and sports. I think it's all nonsense. And I think it's leading to a degradation of moral fiber. And if left unchecked, I think it's going to ruin.
Dan,
they're pushing it on children.
Right. Do you accept, Dan, that you are just blatantly anti-Semitic?
Look, I have an issue with that term. I mean, I think the real Semites are the Palestinians. I mean, the DNA tests that they've done on the Israelis that are living over there, they're Eastern European Ashkenazi Jews. I don't even think they're actual Semites. They don't have ancient Hebrew DNA, which is why DNA testing is illegal in Israel. DNA testing is illegal in Israel.
DNA testing is illegal in Israel.
Today, a lot of people don't know this. There's people like Ron Dalton that tell you that the Jews over there, they do DNA tests and all that type of stuff. Well, they don't. It's illegal unless you have a court order. When Harry Rosenberg goes on there and talks about DNA, he doesn't ever give the DNA that the Jewish people are supposed to be because they don't like to tell you that. They don't give their DNA markers because it's illegal. You understand? So
wonder why.
Oh, we know why. But it also, proves all the dudes that's about the DNA stuff, it don't really matter. Because we know who makes the DNA markers and who controls them, right?
Right.
And there are white people from the nation state of Israel that have matched their DNA with folks from the Limba tribe and so on and so forth, right? So they do have access to at least change the records on paper to make it seem like they match the identity and the DNA of our people. So if they could do that, why even worry about the DNA? I don't know. You know what I mean? But that.
It is prohibited, and you can Google this, to do a DNA test in Israel. Totally forbidden. Wrong. It's illegal. It's a crime. You'll be jailed if you do a DNA test in Israel. Why? Because they know the truth will come out. You come from Poland, you come from Ukraine, you came from Europe, you came from everywhere else. And they were the original Middle Eastern Jews who lived together with the Muslims and the Christians for centuries. For centuries. So what happened to a lot of the Jews?
So he said there were these Jews that were able to live with the Christians and the Muslims for centuries. What he doesn't know about the history is that those Jews were the Christians. That's why they were able to live amongst each other. We were living with y'all because y'all were helping us enslave the Edomites. We talked about that when we talked about the class when the Anglo-Saxons and Danes made white people Slavs, right? We proved how Ishmael was actually participating in the Slavic slave trade with us, right? Half of us was in Jerusalem, or a quarter of us was in Jerusalem still, Judea, right? As the Jews. A quarter of us is in Greece, in Rome, in Italy, in Europe as the Holy Roman Empire. Part of us is up north, Northern Europe, Eastern Europe, right? As the Premlicid Empire. And we're all working together, putting the white people in captivity with Ishmael, who is Ishmael. They're the Muslims at this time, right? So that's how it was. It wasn't that we was all living together with you guys. It's that we had decrees, you know what I'm saying, since we was all considered sons of Abraham at that time, not to put y'all in captivity unless y'all tried us. That's the same thing to us. And we all agreed to just pass around the white people. And that's what we did. Once the white people became the Jewish people, that's when things changed and we couldn't do that no more, right? That's the Renaissance period. That's when all that stuff stopped. And once they got back into the land officially in 1948, we know what Gamal Nasir said in 1952, that the real Jews left black and these white people showed up, so they can't accept it. And it'll be war in the land until the real Jews return.
Lock it. Hey, what you got on the screen? No, can you pull that back up? That what was on the screen? I wanted to read that.
Oh,
because I find it very interesting that they actually put in law in Israel. You ain't got. Oh, there it is. It says Israelis are forbidden to buy ancestry DNA kits from the store.
Oh yeah, hold on. We're gonna put it. He's gonna show the post. Let me show that.
Okay. Because I want to comment on that.
I'm about to show you something extremely controversial.
They don't have ancient
Want to fully understand your family genealogy? Not without a court order. And this is Jerusalem Post. This is their publication. Want to fully understand your family genealogy? Not without a court order. According to some ancestry websites, there are indicators to tell you if you possess Jewish DNA or not. If you
What? Well,
So
I guess
it'll say something like, if you have Jewish DNA, your Y chromosome markers will be MRYWC6567. Or they'll be between, or like it'll say something like they'll be between MR545 and MR767. Some crap like that, right? So it'll give you a range. If you have anything that falls between this and this, you could be of Jewish descent, right? So you get it back, and this Asian nigga, you know, look like Manny Pacquiao. He coming back talking about, yo, I'm Joyce, right? Because he got the markers that match up on the joint from 23andMe or Ancestry.com or something like that. So,
well, for the Jewish people over here in America, there have been videos out there of so-called Jewish people getting their DNA tests and it coming back with them realizing that their ancestry is nowhere from that area.
All right, so watch.
What his results, which show no trace of being from Palestine or the Middle East, despite being Jewish, mean.
So I don't even think they're actual Semites. They don't have.
So he showed you his thing, and his test didn't come back as Jewish.
Right.
It told you Jewish because he's put his name down. It gives you Jewish 49%, but all the rest of his stuff don't have nothing. It's nothing Jewish isn't a place, right? So that's the first thing you got to understand. That's not a place. It says 49% Jewish, but then it says Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. That nigga's a damn Fingal Viking, nigga. He came from the Caucasus Mountains and went up north. He was a Roman Fingal Viking. And all his markers go to Norway, Sweden, or Denmark. Oh, and he got Germanic Europe at the bottom, right? He's a Finn. And now he thinks he's Jewish. You see? So he looked at the marker and realized he ain't got nothing connected to the Middle East. Look. This the Middle East. So, right, this is Israel. This Africa. He ain't got nothing even lit in the remote area. Damn it.
It's all north.
He ain't got Italy or Cyprus, Japhet. He ain't touching the Isles of the Gentiles at all. Right? Cyprus, Tarshish, Italy. He ain't touching it. These are the Isles right here, right? This is Germany right here. This is Gomer. Ashkenaz, right? He just touching the end of it. So Norway and Sweden and stuff, they not included in the the Isles. I'll stop running water right here. Japhet was giving this. Shem giving this, and Ham was giving this. Or really like this, because this was some of ours. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how that go. But as you see, he not what he say he is. So
wow.
But we got one more clip just to show you guys a little bit more that they know the truth. And then we're gonna get the precepts and get up out of here. We're gonna make it quick. I ain't gonna talk too much through this one because I ain't gonna need to. Yeah, I'm really not gonna need to.
And so when I say Chinese, I want you to scream out the nation that's associated with this. For example, if I say Chinese, you're gonna.
Oh wait. So I just wanted to show y'all this before we put this video up. I'm not gonna go through it, but because we have classes where we've done that. But when you go on the Harry Truman Library, y'all can actually find this timeline, right? So y'all can go back on We Woke Now. Y'all can watch the brother's YouTube channel if y'all don't want to do the research and y'all could match up the things he's got in the clips with events that happened here on the Balfour Declaration. I only took the screenshot from December 2nd, 1947, but we got the whole timeline that you could read, you know, April 11th, 48, May 12th, 13th, and 14th, 48, May 13th, 14th. It gave you the breakdown of what happened, right? September 46, October 46. So we got a whole timeline that tells you what happened, who was talking to who in the American government, who was talking to who in the British government. It gives you names like Chaim Weizmann and Eisenhower, President Clark Clifford, all these different names, right? That you can look up. You can look up these people. You can look up their relations in the government now. Any people that's in the government now that might be related to these people, or might have picked up their task, because it's going to show you, you know, the type of things that you have to look forward to. As Israelites, we're not supposed to be, you know, we're supposed to basically know everything, anything that we can know. Not supposed to be unknown in any matters, large or small. So things like this you should try to know about, right? So that you could be a step ahead of the enemy. You at least know what's coming, right? You got to be able to match up the prophecy and be able to know the times. A lot of that is being able to see exactly what the, you know, heathen are doing that actually is matching up with the prophecies. So now let's get into this last piece of the video.
Say what? China. All right, let's say it with authority. When I say Chinese, you say what? China. All right, that's just a test right there. So here we go. Chinese. China. Russian. Russia. Italian. Italy. German. Germany. Swedish. Sweden. Korean. Korea. Egyptian. Egypt. Nigerian. Nigeria. Black.
Exactly. Tell him, Pastor. Tell him, Pastor. Black, nothing.
I hope you were able to successfully identify the issue.
The lion won't sleep tonight.
Hope y'all caught that.
As a color, have told us what it means to be black.
You know what you are? You're an ancient Israelite. You know what you are? You're an ancient Israelite.
I heard that.
You know what you are? You're an ancient Israelite.
Ancient is there. That's who we are. That's who we are. So you can give me time.
I don't need you to tell me that.
Huh?
No, I'm nothing.
Yeah, right. We don't need you to tell me that, right? These are Igbo, right? These are Igbo elders. They got their Jewish garb on, right?
Right.
They wearing yarmulkes. Why? Because this man is, well, he's, you know, giving them okie doke. Ain't none of them got beards. They all got their face shaved, right? They're like a bunch of Haitians just left church.
Mm-hmm.
I could say that. My mama Haitian. Don't get mad.
Give me time. No.
We don't have.
So many years.
I know. Look at this. This is pages and pages of notes.
He said, yes, we know who we are. It's in here. We have it right here in the pages. Yes. Like I said, yeah. We don't care about that.
We'll give more teaching. But here is my challenge to you.
All right.
I'm hearing some of your traditions. It's like the days of the Bible.
Yes.
Right. And you're hearing through your traditions, it's like the days of the Bible, right? Yeah? Nah. Because that nigga Russian, right? Nah. German.
Do you want to remain ancient Israelites? Or you want to be Jews? Do you want to
see that? Yes.
I told you I was gonna show you, Knock. Do you want to be Israelites or you want to be Jews? I told you guys they do that. They've been doing it for years. There's that white guy that went on what's that comedian that we did? The big lip African nigga.
Wait a minute, which one, Kev?
We did a video on a comedian. He's black. He did thing on the Jewish people. He had that fake Jew come in. Rudy Rockman.
Oh, that was a while ago.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember the dude's name. I can't remember the black guy name. But that brother, right? He had Rudy Rockman on, and Rudy Rockman do the same thing. He goes around trying to get black people that know they're the Israelites, and he comes in like he's this guy that's trying to, help you wake up to your nationality and your culture. But really, what he's trying to do is just make you accept that they're Israelites too, so that we could all be one happy family, which the Bible never talks about.
Right.
Right. They want us to accept them into our covenant, and that's their goal, to basically trick us into doing it. So what they've been doing is they've been going to elders in Africa that know they're Israelites. They've been letting them keep the title of Israelite or drop the title Israelite and become Jews. Right. You could know that you're the ancient Israelites, and we'll tell people that you're the ancient Israelites. But in order to do what we do and get the privileges that we have, you're gonna have to become Jews, and you're gonna have to go through a purging process. And this, this Talmud that y'all don't use, we're gonna need y'all to start using that. It's not enough to just have the Torah, Tanakh, and Gospels.
God, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy how, like what Magan said, crazy they could say we Israelites but still think they're going to be in the kingdom as Judah and Levi. Shaking my head. Now here's the thing: them knowing that we are the people, what nerve do they? I mean, look. You can tell they're wicked. They're going to actually tell them, look, you're Israelites, but do you want to be Jews? Just so they can keep control and power, right? Learn their ways of what our book says, but we have to follow after them. It's the same thing.
But also, do you understand the dynamic in that? He's asking, do you want to be Jews? He's telling them that they're the Southern Kingdom. Y'all are Israelites. Y'all ain't Israelites. Yeah, but we the new Southern Kingdom. Y'all want to be Jews? That's what, they don't talk about no Israelites no more.
Right. Right.
Where people talk about people in the land, they're referring to us, the Jews. So y'all want to be us?
Right.
Y'all got to do what we do. That's basically what he's telling them. And they're like, yeah, brother, yeah. We want to be just like you when we grow up, yes?
God.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Pay attention. It's almost over.
I'm so glad you're here because you can bring great clarity. Can you tell us a little bit about the Sephardic Jews and how they were scattered because they went west?
I sure can.
Because the reason why I want to is because a lot of them, and a lot of people don't know this, are in the Caribbean.
They are.
In the islands.
And you're one of them. I know that.
One of them.
I know that.
Because, a lot of folk don't know that those roots are there. One of the first batches of slaves that came to Jamaica, they were the Sephardic Jews. It's documented.
And they're all over the Caribbean, South America, Central America.
What you don't know is if the first batch of slaves that went to Jamaica was Sephardic, the first batch of slaves that went everywhere was the same. They didn't just separate. Okay, first batch going this time, second batch going this time, third batch gonna bring them a little bit later. They weren't like that. Everybody took their ships and they brought them wherever they were stationed to bring them based on what land that the country that they was coming from owned in the New World. Whatever batch of people they took, they was coming from the same places. They go get another batch from the same spot. So if the first batch was Sephardic Jews, nigga, the second batch was too, and the third batch after that, and the fourth batch, and however many batches it was, like the Cabbage Patch and the Sour Patch, right? It's all gonna be the same. So,
and even the South Central United States.
Wow.
And DNA testing is a factor in all this now.
There goes the crackers with the DNA.
Their bones were discovered in Kafse Caves near Nazareth in Galilee in 1933. 13 fragile skeletons, one a woman, a tiny baby at her feet.
He said these skulls were found in Jerusalem in 1933. So they've been trying to perfect the DNA thing and match it up with our DNA since before they even moved to the land. You understand? This is a carefully thought up, devised, crafty, counseled plan that they have. The whole DNA thing and getting people stuck up on that was something they had, not to make us really feel like they could prove where we come from. It's all to bring legitimacy to these Jewish people being us in the land. That's the only reason they have DNA as an option for you to even look yourself up. They're not allowed to. But the point of DNA was to bring legitimacy to them.
Right.
It ain't got nothing to do with you. It ain't got nothing to do with the white people and the Asian people being able to tell you where they come from. It's all to make this claim of these people going to our land legitimate. And you're not even allowed to see their results.
Wow. That's wild, man. That's wild, Cap.
It's crazy, right? It's crazy.
These bones were first uncovered. They were the oldest complete modern human skeletons ever found.
They're able to complete modern human skeletons in 1933.
The numerous skeletons that have been found in caves in Israel at the sites of Kafse and Shkul show us that there were modern humans outside of Africa over 100,000 years ago.
And if you think they lying, you know, just look at things like Emmett Till, right? He's completely deformed and mutilated, but they're able to discover him and find out who he is. They ain't got no fingerprint software, DNA recognition, fucking face scan, AI technology back then. So I believe them.
Those modern humans may well have gone up the Nile corridor. Those modern
Wells comes face to face with the man he's been searching for. A new portrait of the common Adam. Go.
On a sheet of X-ray film, and every African American showed differences, and all the Europeans looked the same. And I thought I'd mislabeled something, or I thought I'd made some drastic mistake. And we kept repeating and repeating things. As we got more samples from different areas, I realized that it was a difference in the pattern, and that this whole new type of evidence based on mitochondria was going to change the way we thought about modern humans.
So she just said that based on the mitochondrial DNA of black people, which is the, you know, female DNA, they're able to, which is also why the maternal DNA is the main thing that they look through when they're going through like the DNA and stuff like that. The main DNA source that they're tracking you through is your maternal DNA. They rarely have paternal records that they could track you through to actually tell you where you come from, right? They could go through your paternal line to tell you who you are and what type of person you are as far as your pedigree, but they can't tell you what nation you come from based off your paternal line. The nation things is coming from the mother. That's how they're determining you, which is why so many different results come up, right? So they're showing you in reference to black people. Another reason why so many different results come up is because when they put black folk mitochondrial DNA in the machine, it never is the same. Whereas when you put white people mitochondrial DNA in the machine, apparently it always comes out the way it was when you put that in. So it's always the way that they expect it to be. Whereas with us, it's never the same. So it's hard to determine exactly where we're from if that's what they're using to determine where we're from, which is why we don't know where we're from. Well, we do, but according to DNA, you can't find out for real because they're going to give you 18 different results, especially if you're black. The white people, they get 4, but we get like 12 or 18 or 36, right?
Hitler was, and the Nazis, of course, expanded on Margaret Sanger's approach to eugenics.
Now, this dude is very important to the Jewish people. He's the owner and CEO of Sefer Publishing Group. He makes the Sefer Bible, right? It's got like the contemporary Hebrew version of the Gospels, the Tanakh, and the Torah, and he just got a bunch of different things broken down in Hebrew, right? So they love him. Watch what he says about us.
Right? Eugenics was a movement that was born in the United States under hard doctrines of racism, with the intent of eliminating the tribe of Judah in the African American community in this country, right? To eliminate them in the African American community in this country, right? To eliminate them with the intent of eliminating the tribe of Judah in the African American community in this country, right? To eliminate them
with the intent of eliminating the tribe of Judah in the African American community in this country,
And notice, just like our chart that people say is fake and we don't know where we got it from, this man, this white guy, very cool with Jewish people, publisher, owns a Bible publishing company. Ironically, doesn't say black people as the tribe of Judah. He says specifically African American.
God.
You think they might know something?
God.
Just saying. I listened carefully, and I thought that was very weird that he just African American. Everybody ever calling us black. Black people, they're the Jews, and black people this and black people that. That nigga said they're trying to remove the tribe of Judah from the African American community. He specified the type of black person, right? And it matches with the chart that we use that people don't agree with. But he would have the records, have access to the records, and the people that have the records. And he says that we, just the African American, are the tribe of Judah. He gave the specific tribe, not the 12 tribes of Israel, a specific tribe for a specific type of black people, just like we have on the chart.
To eliminate
The major problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community. Black Lives Matter starts there.
She said the biggest problem that they're going to have is with the youth of the black community, because we're the ones waking up everybody, right? This is Judith Varney. This is a rendition of Varnetti, which is the name of them, Celtic slaves that I told you guys about, them Slavic people. And her last name is Schorer, right? But she's Jewish. She's on the Israeli Council of General, or she's the Israeli Council General in Atlanta.
I had last week leaders sit down dinner in my house with some people which are considered the leadership of the black community.
The entire Bible is about black people. Not only was Jesus black, but every character in the Bible seems to be black too. Yeah, Zephaniah and
except his daddy Esau. When you go into Genesis 36, it gives you Esau whole family bloodline. So there is Esau in the Bible too. Every character is not black. Midian is not. Well, he probably a nigga. Ishmael. If we say Abraham black, we gotta say Ishmael black too. You know what I'm saying? It just they wasn't black after the fact. It's gone down the line. Abraham done. Esau done got a hold of everybody. Moab and them done had a little bit of stuff. So that's what's going on. But at first, yeah, we could say that till Esau came on the scene.
Jeremiah and Jebediah, those all aren't white people names, okay? And Jesus wasn't some tan.
This nigga said Jedediah ain't a white people name. He's fact. That's true. I've yet to meet. Knock, you know a cracker named Jedediah?
No.
Yeah,
partially melanated Middle Eastern person either. I'm talking straight up black dude. Okay, even in the book of Revelation, when you get the vision of Daniel, he's describing someone with feet like burnt brass and white woolly hair, and we've got the deep running water voice with the red eyes.
That Barry White. You ain't never heard no white guy with the Barry White.
No.
When the last time you heard a white dude sound like Judah?
No.
I ain't gonna lie, it is one white dude I know sound like Judah, but we don't know if he's white. He won't tell us, which means he probably not. And he got a black wife, but that ain't never stopped no white man, so I don't know. Shout out to Mr. Quest.
And you guys, he's black. The Jewish people are black people. Like Kanye was right.
All right, we'll stop there. So, just to show you they know. And that video is like 2 hours of people telling you they know. So you could get a lot of content out of that if you want. Let's get some precepts and then get up out of here, right? we all know about the crafty council, right? Psalm 83. We're not gonna bring that out because we bring that out a lot. Let's get Amos 11:11. But the crafty council is definitely a thing to talk about here, right? We got I mean, hey, they've been trying to do whatever they can to make the name of Israel be no more remembrance, and it's basically happening, right? We're in a place where our people nowadays they're realizing that we the Israelites, but it's not, it's not registering in our brains, not us like specifically, but our people. It's not registering in our brains that there's things you have to do as Israelites. You can't just be that and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So the name of Israel still, in a sense, is not in remembrance, because once people remember who they are and what they are, they don't do what they're supposed to do. So they're, Esau's still winning, basically, right? That's why we have to stop that. So yeah, we're gonna get that revelation. Don't worry. Amos 11.
Amos 11.
Yeah, Amos 11. Is that what I got? I might have been tripped. Wait. Amos 1 and 9. I meant to change that. My bad. Amos 1 and 11. Start at 11.
God, this is the book of Amos, chapter 1 and verse 11. Thus say Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof. Because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever.
See, so we're gonna be at war with Amalek. Amalek in the book of Exodus, right, is explaining, and in Numbers that we're gonna read later on, it's talking about Esau, but it's giving Amalek as the chief house, because that's what he is, right? The Jewish people are the ones that make the decisions for them, and the Jewish people are Amalek. So here we see Edom is going to be punished. Amalek is included in Edom. Edom is what you would call the name of the Edomites as a whole, right? When you're not just talking about the Dukes, when you're not trying to single them out, that would be the equivalent of calling the Israelites Israel, right? It's the plural version for them as a whole. And the Edomites, they know who we are, they know who they are, and they're doing whatever they can to keep themselves in power, which is what Amos is talking about, them being punished for doing whatever they can to keep themselves in power, right? Let's get Revelations.
God. Book of Revelation.
Part of the punishment will be the exposing of the fraud, right?
Right.
And there's 2 scriptures in the book of Revelation, or the book of the things revealed by God, that explain how and what's going to happen to them once this, secret is exposed. Go ahead.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
See that? So there's the people on the planet that say they are Jews and are not. You can't say issue black people. Y'all are the ones saying you're Jews and you're not, because as a whole, we never said that. We don't say that as a whole. It's a very small amount of so-called black people that even say we're Israelites today. So, and even less than that actually act like it when they do say it. So, that being the case, this scripture ain't talking about us. It's talking about the people that are known as so-called Jews today, right? The Jewish people. They say they are Jews, but are not, but are the synagogue of Satan, right? Or chief house. That's what synagogue means.
Yep,
that's house. What we used to worship in. That's what we used to call the church. The church, they used to be called the church because the word church was something that referred to Israelites. That's what you called us when we were gathered together in the name of the Lord. It was the church, right? Now they've called us the church when you go into a building that would have been called the synagogue back in the day. And they've left the word synagogue only basically for the so-called Jewish people, right? So since they're the only ones using that word today, The Most High made it, plain in the Bible. They're the synagogue of Satan, right? So that 3 and 9.
Come, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 3, and verse 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews, and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
That's right. So they're going to come worship at our feet, right? They're going to be doing everything it says in Isaiah 49, right? And that's what's going to happen. So, but it's all because they're going to realize that they're not the people that they have been claiming to be, right? Their fathers have inherited lies, and that's what they're going to say,
right?
Like it says in Isaiah. So, Numbers 24, start at 17 and read to verse 22.
Come, this is the book of Numbers, chapter 24, and verse 17. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheth. And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but this latter end shall be that he perish forever.
I mean, that's a one-hitter quitter for you right there, Kasaji. I know you was looking for one of those. Here go one. Here go a precept to let me back off of that. Obadiah 18.
God. Let's get to the book of
Just to show you that there's going to be a punishment for what they've done, right? They don't get to get away. That's basically what these precepts are. Showing you guys that they don't get to get away. They know the truth, but they don't want us to be free, right? So eventually we're going to just take the kingdom and possess it forever and ever. Right? We're not going to wait for them to let us be free. We're going to just take it.
God.
Go
This is
ahead.
this is the book of Obadiah and verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh hath spoken it.
That's right. There won't be none remaining of the house of Esau because the Most High has spoken it. Right? So that's what we have to understand. That's how it's going to be, whether they like it, understand it, believe it or not. Right? Isaiah 34 and 5.
God. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 34, and verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And all the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness.
Yeah,
For
man.
it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion.
Yeah. And we ain't going to read it, but you can put that with Isaiah 63, 1-6, right? Because that explains Hamashiach Yahushua coming back with them garments stained, like he tread through the wine press. And he explains why. Because he walked alone through Basra and cut up every cracker up in that thing, along with the animals and all of that, right? He cut up the golden retrievers, their horses, everything, right? They goats, they pork, they wives, they children. He took them all out. So Isaiah 34 is another part of that vision, right? Isaiah got to see some real gruesome stuff. Probably had nightmares for weeks. I don't know. That's crazy, right? Lamentations 4:21.
It's the book of Lamentations. As soon as I can get my pages from sticking.
It's all good. Y'all hit the like button if y'all haven't already. We almost done. Got like 3 more precepts.
Come on, this is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, starting at verse 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins.
That's right. So all their sins will be discovered, right? And as we said, there's going to be healing of the nations last week, right? We didn't go into that lesson again this week because brother said we didn't really need to. So that's why we're doing this one this week. But Deuteronomy 30:7, right? It's something we explained that's to prove the curses that we have on us now. Once we get to the point where we've, completed our captivity and the Most High has held it still, right? Turned our captivity from us. He's basically going to turn the captivity onto the heathen, right? Along with the curses that came upon us. So certain things that we haven't been able to do, the success we can't have here in this captivity, it's just going to switch. We're going to start being the successful people, and they're going to be the ones that can't succeed in anything. They're going to be the ones that have the saying that goes through their friends and family and generation from generation, like it's always something, right? That ain't going to be no thing we say no more. They're going to be the ones saying that because it ain't going to be always something that we have to go through. It's going to be something they always have to go through, though, right? That's the curses. So go ahead, read that.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, and starting at verse 7. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. And thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Lord, and do all his commandments which I command thee this day. And the Lord thy God will make thee plenteous in every work of thine hand, in the fruit of thy body, in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy land for good. For the Lord will again rejoice over thee for good, as he rejoiced over thy fathers. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which are written in this book of the law, and if thou turn unto the Lord thy God with all thine heart and with all thy soul, for this commandment which I command thee this day, it is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off. It is not in heaven that thou shouldest say, who shall go up for us to heaven and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it? Neither is it beyond the sea that thou shouldest say, who shall go over the sea for us and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it? But the word is very nigh unto thee, in thy mouth and in thy heart, that thou mayest do it.
You see that? So you first of all, you got the Bible right here, so you can look at it, refer to it, read it, right? Get your notes, get inspiration, whatever you need to get. You can get it because you don't got to go to the Most High to go get it. And you ain't got to go to the depths of the ocean and go get it. He gave it to you, right?
Right.
Gave you the internet. You can pull it up or pull up whatever scripture you need to on your little cell phone and stuff like that, right? Whenever you need it. So you got apps, all type of different things. But aside from that, right? Us having this law that we not supposed to discontinue from anymore, you have no excuse not to stay in it. And with that, once we get to the point where he's turned our captivity, like I said, and we in this thing for real, he's putting all the curses that we've gone through on our enemies. And we're going to be in a situation where we're not having to go through that anymore. We're going to watch them go through everything we went through while not even remembering that we went through it. Because we ain't going to have memory of former things either. We're going to be in a whole new glorified state. This past terrible, dreadful life of captivity that we've lived, those of us that make it to the kingdom, we're not even going to remember this. only thing you're gonna know and remember is the life of a king or a princess. This captivity with the death and all the crap that you experienced here, being called a nigga and getting done dirty by the police and all different type of crap, that ain't gonna be nothing we even have knowledge of. So, and I mean, you only gotta get one of these. Just get Isaiah 46:10. We'll be done. You can get Daniel 18 after that. So one thing I want y'all to realize, like I told y'all last week, the Most High already told you in the Bible what's going to happen. A lot of people that are learning about the Israelites, they don't like what we teach because they don't understand why we teach what we teach. Why we teach the heathen can't get saved right now. Why we teach, well, not right now, why they can't have the same salvation as us, period, right? Why is there favoritism in the Bible with the Israelites as opposed to the other people and all this other stuff that we teach, right? It's because the Bible says it, for one. For two, the things y'all have been taught aren't biblical. They're just doctrines. So when we come from the Bible and tell you exactly what it says, it's surprising to y'all, right? But one thing I want y'all to know, whether you like it, understand it, believe it or not, the things the Bible says are not going to change. And everything it says that wasn't added by Esau is going to happen. So that's what you got to understand. He declared the end from the beginning, and his words are not going to go void. So keep that in mind. Go ahead, read that out. You on mute.
Salakia. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 46 and verse 10. Declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure.
That's right.
That's right.
So that's it, man. He gonna do everything he want to do. All his pleasure is gonna be done, and his word not gonna go void, like it said in Isaiah 55 and 11. So stay in this book, learn exactly what it said. And this was just to give you a little history on your enemy, because we're probably not gonna be able to do no more videos on them after Humpty Dumpty Trumpy gets back in power officially. Because him and IPAC, I'm sure they're gonna be having some laws and stuff. The famine of the word might come under this administration, or it might come under the next one. But I feel like it ain't too far away because we telling too much truth now. So, yeah, when you got Candace Owens, coon ass, trying to talk about the Israelites and calling fake Jews the synagogue of Satan, like that means it's too easy to find this truth now. You know what I'm saying? So expect what should now be the expected. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, you want to get that last precept? Daniel 7? Or you got anything you want to say? You on mute.
Keep going on mute because I got noise in the background. Slack it. No. Good class, Cap. This was not a class with a lot of precepts, but a class that gives a lot of information that, like you said earlier, like recently right now, they have that critical race theory, right? Trying to get all the history from what they have given us. They're even trying to get rid of that. But to know that the information that we were taught about things like the Holocaust, World War II, that they didn't teach us these things that we can easily look up on Google now, it just tells you, y'all, it's been a long, drawn out lie, and it's ending, and we see it ending. It's ending because we're waking up. We're coming back to who we're supposed to be, coming back to our God, coming back to our God's laws and commandments. So yeah, I enjoyed the class. I hope everyone else enjoyed it. I hope everybody was able to get something from this.
Hey, so let me back up what you just said.
What's
about,
that?
I said I want to let me back up what you just said too about like this thing not being something that is for everybody and everything. I also want y'all to see like us coming into it and things that we're doing to wake up, right? Though the other people are waking up too and they're hearing what's going on, we still don't have no friends because none of us are helping. Like none of them are helping us.
Right.
So when the Bible talks about us gathering together as a nation not desired, understand that that's actually what we are. Because there's people that know who we are. They'll get on the YouTube and say, yo, black people are the Jews. The black people are the Israelites. The whole Bible is about black people. Those people over there in Israel, they're not the real people. But none of them are helping us become the people that we're supposed to be. So keep that in mind. I just want to say that. Because a lot of you, there's a group of Israelites that think we should be helping the heathen right now, though the heathen aren't helping us. Making a YouTube video don't help us with nothing. It ain't helping us get our land back. It ain't helping them not kill us. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, putting legislation in place to where Israelites are put in a better position in America or wherever the hell wherever the hell we are in the world, right? There's no laws like that that's coming about from these people making these videos telling us that we're the Israelites. They're just making videos telling us we're the Israelites. There's no action behind it. There's nothing that comes with that.
Right.
So know that too. Just because they make these videos and they quote unquote cleave or what we call cleaving, I don't want to consider that cleaving anymore, because to me, cleaving should involve you doing something that's actually going to benefit us.
Right.
Why should we take you to our place and allow you to be saved to the extent of you not dying, right? You getting to learn the law under us, but you can't even show you actually down for the cause. You just get to make a video. I don't think that's enough no more. So we should probably, we should raise the bar as a whole.
You got the Cash App at the bottom for them though. They can at least,
Yeah. Drop your daddy credit card. You know what I'm saying? Just give us the whole thing. Max it out on us. You know what I mean? You could do that. If you do that, I ain't even gonna be mad at you no more.
Right.
We could use the mammon of unrighteousness for what we need to use it for. And we will. So.
Right.
But that's that, man. We get Daniel 7:18. Hope y'all enjoyed the class. Next week, most high willing, we don't have any technical difficulties. And I had some that I want to go over. So it should be pretty good. Y'all might like it. If you've been paying attention to what's going on in Israel.
Right. God, all praises. So let me matter of fact, let me run through. We didn't have that many in class that I didn't call out everyone. So I'm gonna real quick, we only had a few come in later. I want to give a shout out to Ahava Chakma, Shalom to the mighty Captain Shaquat, Shalom to Sister Devorah, House of Zebulon, Shalom to you, sis. Shalom to Brother Zebulon, Shalom, brother. Shalom to the mighty soldier Araya out in the bay, Shalom to you. Shalom to the mighty officer Casadia in Naptown. Shalom to mighty soldier Antonio. Shalom to the mighty soldier Be Like Ants, Soldier Gary. Shalom to the brother Magen. Let's see who else we got in here that popped in. Let me scroll down. Shalom to the real Graham. I believe that may be it. Let me just scroll some more. I don't see anyone else. No, and that'll be it. That's it. All right. So before I get Daniel 7:18, just want to remind everyone, for any brothers who are wanting to put their brick in with the Anointed House of Saints, you can do so by sending us your request at anointedhos@gmail.com. Remember in the subject line to put prospect phase. We'll get that information to you when we get the next prospect phase going. All right. Let's see what else we have. Let's go ahead.
Yeah, we haven't started it yet, only because we tweaking some things right now.
Con.
But we're gonna start it up real soon. You know what I'm saying? So y'all stay tuned for that. Make sure that if you haven't sent an email, send it, have all your information in it, name, number, you know what I'm saying? State you in, all that type of stuff. Hebrew name if you got it, so that we could go ahead and document that you're trying to join.
Also, AHOS will be gathering together for the Feast of Dedication. That will be taking place on December 26th, but it will be in Greensboro, North Carolina at our school. Anyone wanting to attend, please send us an email, anointedhos@gmail.com. You may want to do that quicker or sooner than later. We only have limited space, but if you want to attend and would like to attend, please contact us as soon as you can. Also, the rest of this week, want everybody to pay attention, and you know, we have classes on Thursdays, right? We have our Torah portion class with Captain Yonatan. Captain Yonatan's class is a very good class, right? Because he goes into the breakdown of the scriptures, right? Of the law, right? Right? That's what he's dealing with, the Torah, right?
Y'all wouldn't know that though, right?
Right. But what I'm saying is that if there's ever a time for us to really learn, because if you think about it, all of us came from Christianity. And in Christianity, we didn't really learn too much about the Torah, right? About the law. We were told that we don't need to keep the law. So it's very important. Get your family, get your friends, share the room, share the class, share the channel, right? Torah portions on Thursday with Captain Yonatan. I believe that starts around 8:39. Also, Friday night, we have our Bible study and our Zoom Bible study and prayer call. I think that will be in the congregation chat. The prayer, I'm not sure if is it on Zoom still? Yeah, on Zoom. But that's taking place every Friday, unless we have an extra class that we put in for that. But also Saturday, Shabbat, which is Captain Aharon, which is our Sabbath morning brew, that starts at 11 a.m. sharp every Shabbat. Hope to see you there. Continue to see everybody participating in that class. And then, of course, we're back right around again for Milk Mondays after that. So those are our classes that we have. Our feast day, December 26th, coming up, piece of dedication. So with that, let me go ahead and get Daniel 7:18, and we can go ahead and get out of here. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, and verse 18, and it reads, "But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever." All right. I want to thank everyone for always diligently being a part of this class. Please, again, spread the word about Milk Monday. Spread the word about Anointed House of Saints. All right. We need y'all to do that for us so we can spread this word and spread this news to our people. Captain, you got anything else to say before we head out?
No, man. Appreciate y'all pulling up after the fourth live attempt.
Right.
Sorry for any confusion. And for anybody that was sitting there waiting on the first one after we went live on this one, because, you know, it never gave y'all the notification, but we saw y'all sitting in the chat. So we don't know what happened with StreamYard. We don't know if they're going to do it again. The last couple of weeks, they've been acting weird. So, yeah, Salakia for that. But see y'all next week, hopefully. Most I would.
Right. Okay, with that, hey, go ahead and let y'all go, all right? Thank you for coming to another Milk Monday and being a part of another Milk Monday. I'm Officer Knock.
Captain on your off.
All right, and we will see you on next Monday. Shalom.
This is not a test.
Black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, black skin, black sauce, black Jesus.